Good evening and welcome. We begin today with this week's edition of Assignment Earth, which encompasses the nation of Oman. Reporter Gabe Delaney has been investigating the socio-economic issues of the nation for a few weeks now, and states that the problems regarding gender discrimination, education, and environmental sustainability, while they are less critical in comparison with other nations, are worth a listen. With more, here's Gabe Delaney with this week's Assignment Earth.
The country, Oman. The city, Muscat. It's in the Middle East right next to Yemen, on the Arabian Sea, and lies parallel to the nation of Iran across the Persian Gulf. The official faith, Islam. Many of Oman's Islamic traditions, like the following of Sharia law, impede its capacity for providing the kinds of equal rights for women that many democratic nations in the world tend to provide for all of their citizens. The CIRI Human Rights Data Project gathers that within the nation of Oman there are laws in place to protect women, but that these laws are seldom, if ever, enforced. Secondly, and perhaps most important, is education. Oman is ranked 124th in the world in terms of its literacy rate. That's one spot ahead of the Republic of Congo. Part of the issue is that the money given to Oman by nations like the United States winds up in the hands of people who are already rich, thus feeding into an oligarchic social structure that helps no one and nothing but the relative few. Finally, the environment. Oil spills and natural gas explosions are frequent disasters in Oman, yet their obscurity emanates not only from the lack of press coverage they receive relative to the environmental calamities that occur in China or the United States, but also from our unwillingness to look deeper into the problems of the greater world community. Though its problems are many, Oman has established a healthy and fiscally beneficial relationship with nations like the United States and the United Kingdom. Oman receives almost $3 billion a year from the United States and Britain combined, money that is supposed to go towards building up infrastructure, ensuring U.S. and U.K. investments within the region, and providing much-needed government services to help those who are currently unemployed, which in Oman is about 15% of the total workforce. The Millennium Development Goals set forth by the United Nations at the turn of this millennium have three critical parallel points with the state of Oman, including the achievement of universal primary education, the promotion of gender equality, and the empowerment of women, and a focus on environmental sustainability. First and foremost, education. Oman has a literacy rate of approximately 81.4% and an education index of 68.2 out of 100 according to UNESCO, which ranks 178th in the world, behind nations like the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Sudan, and Haiti. For a nation whose oil and natural gas reserves are dwindling and whose economy has taken a massive hit as a result of this recent global recession, Oman, of all nations, cannot afford to maintain an uneducated populace. The next generation of Omanians must develop ideas and solutions for how to make Oman relevant in a world that is growing increasingly complex and interconnected. Secondly, in Oman, only about 70% of all women are literate, and only 0.99% of all elected officials are women. These are in no way the signs of a fair society. How does that speak towards the equality as pointed out by the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, which says everyone has the right to an education without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status? Finally, environmental sustainability. Oman has had trouble with oil spills and natural gas explosions in the past, but must be held accountable for the resources it harvests and the constant damage caused by such production. Business is business. There is nothing that can or will be done to stop something as critical to the Omanian economy as oil and natural gas from being produced. Therefore, the United Nations goal could be to recommend different avenues through which to continue such business. We may understand the issues of this country on paper or on our television screens, but understanding them is not enough. Dominican priest Gustavo Gutierrez once wrote, "We must engage in the praxis of the poor and mistreated." It is never enough to simply reflect upon the issues that captivate the lives of our fellow men. We must experience them first. We must practice their pain so that we may speak of it. But just how do we do this? We can volunteer with non-government organizations like Amnesty International, which fight for women's rights worldwide. We can volunteer with Teachers Without Borders or UNICEF, and bring education into the lives of those who would otherwise have none. And we can volunteer with local, national, or international environmental advocacy groups that bring up the question of what we are doing to our planet. Poverty, hunger, illiteracy, injustice, and environmental abuse have been as persistent social issues as any in human history. We are called to change that for this and the next generation. Father Pedro Arrupe, the former Father General of the Jesuit Order, said that nowadays the world does not need words, but lives. Lives that cannot be explained except through faith, service, and a steadfast love for God's poor and marginalized people.
Well, that certainly seems true, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And it's better said than done, but at least it's been said. Besides, it's the season for charity.
And that's NBC Nightly News. I'm James McCool, New York. Thank you for watching this week, and have a great holiday season.